Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we return to talking about the Disney movie making company. Disney is a big company who makes lots of family-led pictures, and they also make lots of cartoons and live action movies too. They're a great kind of family-friendly thing. They started off with things like Mickey Mouse, of course, and then they've done animated movies, the princess movies, Snow White, Cinderella, all kinds of stuff over the years. But recently they've been getting pretty extra huge because they've been buying these other film franchises. We all know they bought Marvel a few years back, and also Star Wars is now under their banner. And in addition, they like to make movies about their theme parks. Theme parks is another avenue that Disney makes a lot of money. They've got Disney World, Disneyland. I believe they have a theme park in Paris as well as Tokyo, and this is a big industry for them, and part of that is these attractions at their theme parks. One of them that's gone kind of sideways recently is actually a Star Wars one they started up here in America. The Galaxy's Edge hasn't been doing too well. This is a new attraction based on Star Wars, but since the fan base in that area has been waning, that part of the park hasn't been doing too well either. But we're not here to talk about that today. Today we're talking about a long-running part of the original Disneyland. It's called Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, this is a kind of ride where you go through a pirate cave, you run into some guys here and there, and you kind of ride on this thing, you see pirates, there's a few scares, a few laughs. It's pretty fun. It's kind of swashbuckling fun, and Pirates of the Caribbean has been a long-time attraction at Disney that they eventually turned into its own movie series. This has been happening with a few things lately. Actually, Jungle Cruise is another ride of theirs that's been turned into a movie, and then I believe there was one based on the one movie with Eddie Murphy, and he's in a haunted hotel, and that was based on a ride originally too. And now we're back to Pirates of the Caribbean. This produced a very popular film series in the mid-2000s. I was actually not a pretty big fan. I liked those movies back in the day. They're fun. There's not a lot to them. They're just kind of a lot of spectacle. Jack Sparrow is played by Johnny Depp pretty well. He's a great kind of fumbling, drunken pirate who leads the show, and he had some good support from other actors like Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom were the other people in the stories, and then all kinds of other actors are in it too. The villains were always really good, and basically, yeah, it was a fun family picture, lots of special effects, lots of jumping from pirate ship to pirate ship, chase scenes, monsters pop up too, like they're kind of going for these long lost legends in the different movies. I can't remember the specific plot points. Again, there's not a lot to this. It's not the deepest series. It's just fun, and it's good for the family, good for kids, and a lot of adults liked it too. Like I said, I remember it coming out when I was kind of in my late teens and 20s, in the middle of college. They had multiple of these movies coming out, and the one thing I remember was these were some of the biggest movies ever around the mid-2000s. These movies were huge. They sold lots of tickets. Very exciting series. One of the bigger ones, like it compared to things like even Lord of the Rings, and these were bigger than comic book movies at the time. Pirates of the Caribbean came out before this whole wave of Marvel versus DC that started in 2008, and yeah, back in the day, pirates were big movies, and the point of bringing that up now is they're deciding to reboot the franchise. Disney has some new ideas. They want to bring back the films, and there has been a little bit of an issue. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a totally terrible idea yet. This series has lots of potential, but the problem is they're trying to make a lady reboot. The point is Disney's coming out with this new story. It's going to be led by a female now. Nothing wrong with females, of course. We love the ladies. We always feature lots of beautiful women on this show here, but the problem is when you hear female reboot, you hear lady reboot, or this is going to be redone with girls, it's never a good look. It never turns out okay. It's always a bad idea, and that's why a lot of people's heads are turning at this story. Now, granted, we can, again, be fair and note that there was a female lead in the previous movies. Like I mentioned, Keira Knightley was the girl. She was always stunning. She always did a pretty good job, good sense of humor too. But the idea of rebooting Pirates of the Caribbean, first of all, without Jack Sparrow, that's questionable. Jack Sparrow was the glue that kept that movie together. Sometimes he was just a goofball, sometimes he just kind of went with the flow, but that was the basis of the movie. Johnny Depp did a great job. He did his pirate stuff. He kind of would be swashbuckling, always kind of having good luck for some reason, but at the same time also bad luck. He's always getting caught and trapped, but he gets out of it somehow. But anyway, so first of all, having to challenge Jack Sparrow, that character is legendary. You can't underestimate him. And then on top of that, to make a lady reboot, to say, oh, this is going to be led by girls now, let's let girls have their chance, that is another big red flag. And this is something that Disney's been doing for a long time too. I mentioned some of these other series that they've bought and these other movies they've been coming out with, and we could go back to them right away. For example, Star Wars, when Disney bought Star Wars, they just started having female leads in everything. The first two movies had separate, different female leads. The Force Awakens had Rey, and then Rogue One had Jyn Erso. And then that kind of snowballed into more female-led stuff. The Star Wars series, the first sequel trilogy all had Rey at the lead, albeit she had some male counterparts, but also a lot of female feminist characters in those movies, like the pink-haired chick that was in the Last Jedi, and then also Princess Leia got a lot of focus in this new sequel trilogy, and it just shows it's a bad sign. I don't know how else to say it, because, it's not trying to say girls are bad. We're not against female leads, but when they come at you like this and say, oh, it's going to be a female-led, it's going to be a lady reboot, it's going to be feminist girl power, it's just, it makes you just sick. I kind of throw up in my mouth a little bit, and we've been going over this over and over again. It never goes well. Lady reboots always fail. Girl power projects are always terrible. Examples come to mind, of course, are like Ghostbusters 2016 or Ocean's 8, which was a girl version of Ocean's 11. Lots of other bad examples like that. So I don't know why Pirates of the Caribbean would feel the need to go down that route. I think if I was going to have a girl lead, I would just be careful how to advertise it in this day and age. I know you can still have girl-led movies, like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just when you kind of lead off with that and you're saying, oh, this is a girl-led project, it just shows where your priorities are. Now, with all that said, let's turn to an article from Diz Insider that has some kind of background information talking about this. It says, Pirates of the Caribbean reboot moving forward with a female lead. And this is a picture of Karen Gillan. She's actually a great actress. I'm not sure if she's officially signed on yet, but I would watch the movie with her. She just had a great kind of a couple of great performances recently. She's been coming up. She was this is a picture of her from Jumanji. She was in the two Jumanji sequels that I thought were a lot of fun. She always does amazing. She's very fit, very sexy, very cool, badass. Definitely a good fit for a Pirates movie too, which has a lot of similar action adventure stuff, and also Pretty Girls is always fun. But the point here is not Karen Gillan, not that the Pirates can't be cool again. I know that series kind of got played out too at the end. They made a lot of those movies, so it kind of died off, lost interest too. But the problem is moving forward with a female-led lady reboot thing is just very off-putting and upsetting and very worrisome. So let's read some more details before we go on. Back in 2018, reports surfaced that Disney was set to reboot their blockbuster franchise Pirates of the Caribbean. Since then, fans have been wondering what that would mean for Johnny Depp's Captain Jack Sparrow. Well, I could say don't expect him to return. According to insider Daniel Richtman, studio is in fact going the reboot route and currently looking for a female lead. And one name at the top of Disney's list to lead the reboot is Avengers Endgame and Jumanji Next Level star Karen Gillan. This is something I can also confirm, as I've heard rumblings of Gillan as early as last fall. As of now, it is unknown if the actress has had any formal talks with the studio, but the studio is definitely interested. And I would say I'm interested too. Like I said, she's a great actress. This could be a fine project. I just warn companies and just people that are thinking about this, don't go with the female-led. Don't say female-led reboot. Just talk about something else. I don't know how else you can reframe it. I don't know what the best way to present it is, but lady reboot just doesn't work anymore. That term is dead. It's a big red flag, and it just should be avoided at all costs. Another tidbit I hear is that the studio is also considering women of color for the role. Character and story details are being kept under wraps. Though fan speculation will go wild now that Gillan's name has been mentioned, there could be a possibility that the film will look to be centered on Red, the popular female pirate featured in the Disney Parks attraction and is a meet and greet character. Okay, so this is the Red pirate from the Pirate at the theme park. Again, this is based on a theme park attraction, and that's kind of funny on its own. It's pretty interesting that something based on a park ride could turn into a movie and become this big hit. And that is amazing on its own. And then on top of that, to take it to so many movies, so many years, at least 10 years ago since that stuff started. I don't know the specific dates. I think probably the first Pirates was early 2003 or something. But anyway, these movies have a lot of history. The Ride has a lot of history, and there's nothing against having a female pirate either. I think the females have always been in the series and then in the Ride, but the problem with the female-led reboot is, again, the bad press, the bad tone it's setting, the bad precedent. It's like following up just these terrible ideas with the same terrible idea. When will they learn? When will they learn that this is too far? We need to just reconsider how these movies are plotted out. It shouldn't be based on race and gender, because there's already talk about having a person of color too, and it has to be a female. It just reminds me of the Democrats and like Biden's VP choice. Like, he said he's going to pick a female VP, and it's just like, dude, why don't you just pick the best VP? Why doesn't Disney just pick the best actor, like the best person to play this pirate according to the story? That's what I would do. Back in October, Disney tapped Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin and Ted Elliott, who wrote the previous Pirates films, to find a fresh new direction for the franchise. Jerry Bruckheimer and Chad Oman will produce. A director has yet to be picked, but Disney has several names they've looked at. I won't share the names I've heard for now. I'll save that for a future scoop I've been working on. The budget on the film is north of $100 million and is being made for a theatrical release, despite rumors of a Disney Plus series. Though Depp's involvement has yet to be addressed by Disney, this is indeed a reboot, so it is unlikely he returns. Back in 2018, president of Walt Disney Studio Motion Picture Production Sean Bailey spoke with The Hollywood Reporter regarding the reboot and avoided the question of Depp's involvement. Here's what he had to say. "We want to bring in a new energy and vitality. I love the Pirates movies, but part of the reason Paul and Rhett are so interesting is that we want to give it a kick in the pants, and that's what I've tasked them with. The Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is one of the most financially successful of all time. The 5 films have grossed over $4.5 billion at the worldwide box office. The last movie, Dead Men Tell No Tales, ended up making $794 million worldwide for the studio, dominating the Memorial Day weekend in 2017. Wow, I didn't realize the last one came out that recently. These are a series that's been going on for a while. 5 of them over about 10 years. And the last one was 2017. I thought it actually been longer. I kind of lost track of the series, to be honest. Like I said, I wasn't necessarily 100% involved. I hyped it up before. I liked it when I was younger. I kind of want to watch them again now. This got me interested again. I don't know if you guys are feeling that too, but I'm definitely worried as well. I don't like this lady reboot stuff. Even though if I like Karen Gillan or whoever else could play the part, it could be another beautiful woman like that, but that's cool. I'm definitely glad they're not going down the SJW route of trying to cast women who are purposely not good looking, or if not that, taking a good looking woman like, say, Brie Larson and dressing her down for Captain Marvel, which again, that's another Disney franchise, by the way. Disney has been doing this in Marvel as well. They've moved on to make all these girl-led movies now. Captain Marvel was just the beginning. Black Widow was supposed to come out this year. The Eternals is another girl-led one, and then they have this Shang-Chi movie, which is supposed to be like an Asian-led kung fu kind of Marvel movie. So this is really prevalent in Disney and what they own. It's getting old. People are getting fed up, and I think you guys understand what I mean. If not, make sure you comment your thoughts and everything below. Tell me what you think about Pirates, if you're interested in the franchise, if you think a lady reboot is worth it. I want to hear all your thoughts right down below. And thanks again for watching No Bullshit. Make sure you also hit that like button if you liked what you saw today. And until next time, you guys have a great day.